So, the universe is made up of endless causation, right? Just one causation after another after another. That's how you become you, and that's how every atom becomes every atom. If that's true, then hypothetically, if we could know all the causations, we could then put them together and then tell the future, right? But we couldn't pass into the future, right? Because we'd only be able to know. We'd be able to set the building blocks up into a single point, and we know what happens in the future, right? So, but say that you could, in a vacuum, create like a catalyst to all that equations. You could then speed up to the future, right? Now, Einstein spent the last of his days looking for the universal equation. Are you familiar with this? It's like the theory for everything, right? So, if we find the theory of everything, then we also find the future. He's sitting down there. He goes, I found it. And nobody's there. And he's just kind of like, shit, I guess I gotta go tell her. And there Einstein walks. Not excited. There's a moment of just like, okay, I changed the world. I gotta call someone. And he just walks. Goes on. Picks up the phone. Then he can get excited. Like any normal human being.
What's that for? I felt like punching you, and if I feel like punching people, I normally just punch them because I think it's funny to actually do what I want to do. Like, if I want to throw a cup, I throw a cup. Like, I don't like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that because I'm not supposed to do that. I actually just do that. Their flesh, like, the stuff that they cover with their clothes, like, their flesh, it's so fucking weird. Like, it's like such an intimate thing to, like, show someone your feet. I'm serious, like, I'm not even kidding, I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna stop cursing because it's not appropriate for me to be cursing in the workplace. What? But I'm still supposed to, like, uphold this thing. Why do you keep covering your face?
I know, I always sit like this sometimes.
But why do you cover your face? It shows a sign that you're trying. It shows a sign that you're trying to hide something. Like there's something that you want to say but you don't, and you stop yourself. Hence the like flesh in front of your mouth.
Explain your fetish with feet.
You have a fetish with feet.
That's what you've been talking about this whole time is
You
feet.
said they were disgusting.
No, it's so weird. If somebody shows you their foot, they're like showing you like their naked body. It's like
Just like their
that's
arms
a foot.
that don't have a
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, okay, it's no longer like custom to like cover your hands with like gloves, but it used to be.
Right.
Some cultures still cover their faces because the presence of flesh is like it suggests something. I'm totally.
What would Freud say about this compulsion of feet?
I don't have a compulsion of feet. It's flesh in general. I don't like to see flesh.
That's kind of odd.
Really? Like if somebody doesn't wear their shirt, I think I'm like offended. Well, not offended. I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see your flesh. I think it's weird.
Matt, you told me, you just talked about your social failings. My social failing would be that Fred doesn't want to talk around me in some formal way. She thinks that I'm going to tear apart our arguments.
No, I don't care if you tear them apart.
Well, then why don't you talk? I gotta know why.
Because you're not listening.
I am too listening. That's not true.
No, but you give off the vibe that you're like, oh yeah. Oh my iPhone. Like you like.
But I'm listening.
But I don't feel that, and that's why I don't like talking around you.
I don't know.
I mean, you're hanging out with Matt. You know what I mean? It's like I was like on accident. So it's like, well, why should I talk?
Gotta tell you the story. Okay. So God's sitting up in his hotel room. Office, whatever he constructs as his perception of his world. Right. He's like, I need to do my thesis to get through college, right? He needs to.
So he's in an office or a hotel room?
He needs to get his.
Why wouldn't he be in a dorm room or a library?
They can make $75 a day.
Whatever. He's doing his thesis for his God world, right? So what does he do? He creates us as his thesis.
I used to think that as a kid.
So creates us. Woman leaves him. God woman gets pissed.
Why can't he be gay?
Huh? All right. Okay. So God's gay.
No, his significant other. It doesn't have to be either or.
God's significant other.
God doesn't have to be a guy.
Okay.
Continue.
African American woman God.
Oh my god,
Gets-
why is that okay? Just because you can think, what's the biggest minority I can think of?
Gets dumped by Middle Eastern
Lesbian lover.
lover.
Wife. Because that's a bigger majority.
Right.
Minority.
Gets pissed. So creates
Drops.
suffering in the world. And
Like it's an angry love song?
yeah, kind of. But he tries to show this to all his colleagues, but none of them want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does he create? He creates a being, an angel in this case, to be a little bit more powerful than the people in his thesis, and a little less powerful than him. He calls this man Satan. Satan looks down in the world and he goes, "What the hell are you doing, Jesus? You're God. What the hell are you doing, God? This is bullshit."
What is Satan?
Huh?
The white male?
I don't know. He can be any race or any gender, whatever.
Why can
Equality.
God?
He can be every race.
Well, then why is God an African American
Okay.
woman
God-
lesbian? Woman lesbian. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, you said it. God can be
Everything.
whatever.
Anything.
Whatever. It doesn't
God
matter.
can be.
That's just
Okay,
a
okay,
figure
go on,
of speech.
just go on.
So he creates Satan. Satan looks down at the world and he goes,
What are you doing,
"What the
Jesus?
fuck are you doing, God? What the fuck are you doing? Like, you didn't need to add that chemical called suffering to the world. You could have. That's why nobody likes your thesis."
So he created his imaginary friend.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, God created Satan as his imaginary friend because none of his colleagues would accept his work. Satan goes, "Listen, God, you created me."
So it's his alter ego?
Could be.
It's his Brad Pitt?
It
To
could be.
his Edward Norton? So God is Edward Norton?
No.
And Satan is Brad Pitt?
Satan is God's soul, and God himself is his thoughts, his ego.
I still like the Brad Pitt.
Whatever. But
It's the same thing,
whatever,
really.
it doesn't matter.
No, it's the same thing because... No, it is.
It is
I
the
just
same
figured out Fight Club.
I know. It is
Fuck
the same
you.
thing.
Continue.
It is the same thing.
Yeah,
The
sure,
guy's
whatever.
from Portland.
Yeah, whatever. So why is it the same
Because
thing?
they're all hippies and they're all.
Why do they
they're
have
all
to be
doing
hippies to
yoga.
be anything better than normal?
No,
That's your
that didn't
viewpoint.
say better than
Ye-
normal.
Yes,
No.
because anytime you compliment someone, they're either a hippie or like that. But if you're rejecting all these other things, but to compliment someone, you call them a hippie.
I have no idea what you're talking about, really.
I do.
Do you
Continue.
understand that? No, I say, as a generalization, they're all hippies. So if most of them are hippies, this is inductive logic. So like if most of them are hippies, and most hippies do yoga and read Buddhist texts, then it's going to be likely that Fight Club is going to have Buddhist ideals inside of it. That was my point. That's why it fits with Tole, and that's why it fits.
Toll.
Tole. Man, you're a hater.
I just prefer his name said like that.
Anyways.
He reminds you of garden gnomes.
He does kind of. But
Like I would
back
imagine a garden
back to
gnome
the
saying
story
that.
though, because this story has to be finished.
It has to.
So Satan says, "God, what the fuck you did?" And God
Brad
goes.
Pitt says. Okay, I'm with you.
God goes. "What do you mean? I created you to love me all." And he's like, well, I still have the power to reason. Like, you are messing up this world. Just fix it. And God refuses. And God gets really depressed, and he stops watching Satan. And what Satan do? Satan learns as much as he can, until he knows the same amount that God does. And then they battle. Satan wins. But what happens is, Satan doesn't know the equations in which God put down for the earth, so he can't change them. So his whole noble quest to defeat God and make our universe beautiful like all the other universes and without hate and suffering, he can't do anything about it because he doesn't know the equation, and he killed God. And so now all he can do is sit and look at us and hope for the best and not make it any worse the way God did. Or that's what I took out of the Bible anyways.